Hi guys, welcome back to KTK Consulting. My name is Paul, talking to you today about the workplace drug and alcohol policy. This one's quite a long document and quite a critical document if you're in a workplace where workplace drug and alcohol testing or influences are something that you really need to account for. I know, for example, in mining companies that I've dealt with in the past, they do drug and alcohol policies, they do drug and alcohol testing on their staff members daily. One place has a jar full of marbles. If you pull out a red marble, you get drug and alcohol tested on the spot. If you pull out a white marble, off you go to work. Another place that I've dealt with, a truck driver run into a car. They were instantly drug tested on the spot after that accident. So the drug and alcohol policy talks about what your testing procedures are, if there's testing procedures in place. Quite often, if you're going to be testing your staff, it will be incorporated in either their code of conduct or their job acceptance document. Their job description document might even have it in it, but they generally have to sign or will sign that they by taking that role, they accept the fact that they can be drug and alcohol tested. And that's the optimal word, that they can be, not that they will be, not necessarily, but they can be. The rest of the document talks about, it goes into a lot of what constitutes illegal drugs, what constitutes drugs. Don't forget, drug and alcohol policy also talks about legal substances like prescription drugs. Alcohol's obviously legal if you're over 18 in Australia. Some other drugs are legal. And then you've got synthetic drugs and illegal drugs as well. So keeping in mind that if somebody's found with illegal drugs on the premises, they're in breach of the policy, which means they're potentially in breach of their employment conditions, but they're also committing a crime under other laws within this country. So this policy talks about how that's to be managed. It also goes through for you how to generally, if you suspect someone's under the influence of drugs and alcohol, again, it might be what you intend to do if somebody comes to work under the influence of alcohol, and that comes down to the risk of safety to themselves and others. If you've got someone driving a massive crane, controlling a massive crane, or driving one of those big trucks out in the coal mines, they're under influence of alcohol, they have the potential to cause massive risk and danger to others within that area. Someone turns up to work drunk within a retail environment, might not necessarily cause any potential risk in safety to somebody, but it's not a good look for the company. So you will decide under your own workplace, and we keep going back to WHS compliance, is having the appropriate level of cover for your business. This document in its base talks about a 3-strike policy. So if someone turns up to work under the influence of alcohol, you might just send them home. And so that's your first warning. If you ever come back like that again, we'll put you on performance management. So sometimes this is in the HR documentation packs as well. You might have a zero tolerance. So if someone turns up to work under the influence of alcohol, you can't be prepared to take that risk. They will have signed on their job acceptance that if they turn up under the influence of alcohol, that's it, they're terminated. Same with drugs. Prescription drugs is a different one as well. If someone's under prescription drugs, you've all seen the box where it says, don't operate machinery or heavy vehicles if you're under the influence of these drugs. Don't make important business decisions under the influence of these drugs. The policy might be, if you're on a prescription drugs, that you have to disclose that not to the whole workplace, but to a particular person, so that they can make sure that you're not putting themselves or the company at risk by being on those drugs. So as I say, it's quite a long policy. Very much can be adjusted to your own requirements. If you're adjusting to the point where you're giving a zero tolerance to any of these things, these influences where someone can be sacked straight away or terminated straight away if they're under those influences, probably recommend running it through your HR department just to make sure you've got all your legalities covered. It can be a grey area. I have seen a lot of cases where workers have been let go because they've turned up to work under the influence of drugs or failed a drug test. They've taken it to court and they've actually won because the policies and procedures weren't in place. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying just make sure that you've spoken to your HR representatives or get legal input into those policies before you put them in place. But this document has been legally checked as is, so you can go through it, you can get your staff to sign it, have a read through it, and if there's anything that you feel you need to change, make those changes in accordance to your own workplace. I mean, again, if you're in a small workplace, it's 3 in the office, it might not be an issue, and it might just simply be a couple of pages of, please don't turn up to work under the influence of alcohol and drugs. It can be as simple as that, or on the other end where it might be daily random testing or daily mandatory testing for everybody. Depends on the risk that you need to take, depending on that appropriate level of compliance. As usual, if you have any questions with this or you need assistance with this, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you out, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, bye.